Is it fair to say that being conscious enough to make the choice is probably the hardest part? Meaning it's, just natural human uh, behavior to just react to everything. And we see that when you're a young kid, you're just reacting to everything. And as you get older and more responsibilities, you're still reacting. Some of it's in your control, some of it's not in your control. And it seems to be that most people, the toughest part is just trying to acknowledge that I need to create a little tiny micro space and practice to catch myself. Otherwise, I'm constantly falling and falling and falling into more reactive emotional states.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we could blather about that, but I think the punchline is absolutely yes. And then, it's back to, well, in the yoga context, I'm sure that there's some reflection on the model being, that's like a guru or somebody like that. And then there's something about what we would call the body of information and the practices associated with that information. In Buddhism, they would call the model the Buddha, but we could just go with, in Chinese tradition, the model is Lao Tzu. In the Christian tradition, the model is Jesus. And in the, all the rest. And so uh, we choose figures who model what we want to become. We notice what they have pointed to as the teaching and the practice. And then it's really helpful to have a community of people of shared values called in the three jewels of Buddhism, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So this community of shared values, which can start with your neighbor or your spouse or your best friend, and eventually it can grow into the people at your yoga class or at your Tai Chi and Qigong class, people that you find yourself, shall we say, agreeing with um, online in some kind of virtual type community. So I think the trick is to, like you said, first just arrive at the conclusion that it's worth pursuing a more preferred way of being. And then second, to be able to look into the body of knowledge and wisdom, the sutras in Buddhism and all the great Hindu traditions and Taoism and Sufism and all those different ways of being, uh, North American shamanism, South American shamanism, African shamanism, Celtic uh, druids, and all of that, to go to the body of knowledge. It's interesting because I gave a lecture the other day and I've got these books here. I'll just show them really quickly. Tao Te Ching, Ne Ye, Secret of the Golden Flower, Patanjali's Sutras, the Heart Sutra. So those are the bodies of information. So we get the idea, follow the model, read the literature, and then find like-minded friends. That's